You know, as fun as the Crisis crossover was, I'm starting to wonder why we really haven't seen all that many old characters from across the Arrowverse's history yet. I mean, I get that the Crisis literally just happened not that long ago, and the writers are probably more concerned with, advancing the story than just playing fan service. But come on, at least give us a look at some of the post-Crisis versions of the good villains, for fuck's sakes. Seriously though, out of everybody we could have seen by this point, I can't be the only one sitting here wondering why we still haven't seen Wally West, aka Kid Flash. Seriously, where'd this guy go? I mean, I know we saw him backpacking around Asia in the pre-Crisis days, and apparently he fought a starfish from space in his free time.
Self-reflection and a battle with a starfish from outer space gives you perspective.
But surely he could have reached out to his family more than once or twice in the last few years, right? Lazy bastard. But good news for all you Kid Flash fans though, Wally's been confirmed to be returning later this season. Now true, that news isn't exactly anything, well, new, but what is new, relatively newish anyway, is how it's been announced that we'll be seeing him in this season's upcoming 14th episode, Death of the Speed Force. What? What the f? Now there's definitely a lot of implications in that title. I'll definitely be doing another one of my crazy theory videos about that one sometime soon. But the part I want to focus on for right now is how we got the official synopsis for the episode, and it's yet another confirmation, in a decent line of confirmations, that Wally will basically be a brand new character when he comes back. As stated in the official synopsis, Kid Flash returns to Central City with a zen attitude and new tricks up his sleeve. While thrilled to see his family again, Wally confides to Barry that he returned because he thinks there's something wrong with the Speed Force. Holy shit, that sounds awesome! And turns out, it actually gels pretty well with a statement Eric Wallace gave to TV Insider back in December, when he stated, "As always, it's a real treat having our Flash family member Keenan Lonsdale back to play the youthful speedster, but what's different this time is that Wally has grown, along with his speedster abilities too." And this also goes along with another statement Eric Wallace made during an interview with Discussing Film about a week or so ago, when he stated, "When Wally comes back, it's not the same old Wally. Being in Tibet will change you if you embrace the tenets of Tibet. He's going to come back a little older and a little wiser. And this is a spoiler I don't mind saying, he might just have a new ability or two, and that's part of the fun." Alright, so a lot's been said in all those statements, so let's break it down. Now, as far as the whole Zen thing goes, Wally in the comics has been described as having a more spiritual connection to the Speed Force, opposite Barry's more analytical/scientific approach, so I kind of figured this was eventually going to be the direction Wally would go after he was written off, so to get a confirmation on that's pretty neat. But the really cool part is all those confirmations about him having some new speedster abilities. Sounds pretty awesome, but what all does that mean exactly? Well, that depends on what all Eric Wallace meant by new. Sure, maybe he meant Wally could do stuff other speedsters already did that we haven't seen him do yet, but given how much emphasis Eric Wallace put into Wally as a more evolved and matured character, then I'm pretty sure that means we'll see Wally accessing some abilities no other speedster in the Arrowverse managed to pull off so far. Either way, what kind of abilities could Wally whip out? Well, let's take a look at what all he can do in the comics and see if we can't come up with a few guesses. So one of the things Wally can do in the comics is make solid constructs out of Speed Force energy. I mean seriously, this dude could actually make some random object out of pure energy.
The Philosopher's Stone. It's made of calcified Speed Force energy.
Yeah, kinda like that. Seriously though, it's actually something Wally's done in the past to make new costumes, or manipulate the one he's wearing, as opposed to carrying one around in a ring like Barry's used to. Now technically, this is something we've seen Barry do back in Season 2, when he got that duplicate of his costume before he left the Speed Force during the Runaway Dinosaur episode. Although at the same time though, it's important to remember that Barry hasn't bothered trying to do it again, so it's more likely that the Speed Force made him a costume before leaving.
No
Either way, since there's been a bunch of new suit rumors since Wally's return was revealed, it's possible that we may see Wally use this ability to make himself either the red and silver suit classic Wally wore after he got out of the Speed Force during Rebirth, or the silver and red one New 52 Wally used. Either one would be pretty cool, honestly. Anyways, let's talk about phasing. Now we have seen phasing on the show before, that part's not really new, but we haven't seen it the way Wally used to do it in the comics. See, while other speedsters were capable of moving straight through things like a ghost or whatever, Wally kinda had a bit of trouble pulling off the same trick back in the day. When he ran through things, they went and tended to blow the fuck up. Could be a pretty neat trick to use against whoever it is they'll be fighting when he gets back, right? Another neat trick Wally has in the comics is his ability to steal speed from anyone or anything he can get his hands on. Now anybody who saw the Crisis crossover should remember that we've already seen this trick, rest in peace Earth 90 Flash, but we really haven't seen it done the same way by anybody else just yet. Either way though, there's plenty of ways Wally's used it in the comics that could make for a pretty effective weapon in the Arrowverse. I mean, one time Wally got so pissed during a fight with Inertia that he literally took all the speed out of him. Seriously, he left him a literal statue. How fucked up would that be to see on TV? On a lesser note, Comic Wally's also been able to sustain himself solely with Speed Force energy, meaning he could exist anywhere and just take in Speed Force energy to keep himself going. On top of that, he also has a more direct connection to the Speed Force, something you'd think would definitely come in handy during an episode titled Death of the Speed Force. Of course, those are just all the Wally specific powers in the comics. For all we know, Eric Wallace meant we'll just see Wally pull out some generic speedster powers that we haven't really seen in the show yet, like the classic infinite mass punch, when a character reaches an insanely high speed and hits someone or something with a huge relativistic mass. Considering how it's been compared to feeling like getting hit by a white dwarf star, I'm pretty sure any Arrowverse bad guy getting hit by something like that isn't going to get back up anytime soon. Now, out of all those powers, which are the most likely we could see when Wally comes back? Well, I'm sure something's going to happen that makes other speedsters start to slow down at some point, so that direct connection to the Speed Force is definitely going to be making an appearance. Wally making a suit out of pure energy would be cool too, but I'm not entirely sure we'll be seeing him in a new one, mostly for budget reasons. If anything, he'll just have to patch up an old one after a big fight or something. Gets the point across without a bunch of money being invested in an actor who might not even be returning after this season anyway. Really, the only one I've mentioned in this video so far that I couldn't honestly see popping up in the show is the Infinite Mass Punch. I mean, yeah, it's definitely cool, but it's also really overpowered compared to everyone else Team Flash has fought so far. At the same time though, I have been wrong before, so who knows. But anyways guys, that's my take on what all Wally's new abilities could be when he comes back on The Flash. If you guys agreed with anything I said in this video, or if you have your own thoughts you want to throw out there, then go ahead and let me know in the comments down below. Otherwise, I will see you all next time. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like this video, then go ahead and click that like button, and if you're new, maybe consider clicking that subscribe button too. I've also got links to my Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and Patreon in the description. You should probably check those out too. And if you want to see more of my content, then you can click the link to my last video. It's right there in the middle of your screen. Alright, and I will see you all next time.